may be the one where you're constantly tuned into everybody else's frequency, their mood, their tone, that tiny sigh. You're pretty sure that it means that they're mad at you, right? And now your whole day gets derailed. Before we go any farther, let me introduce to you my favorite liberator, Kali Ma. Forget about the scary statues, pictures. Think of her as the ultimate reality check. She's the dark mother who doesn't send a comforting text message, but she shows up with a sword to cut the bullshit ties that are strangling the spirit out of you. Her colors are deep midnight black, the void, this is where new beginnings are born, and vibrant blood red, this is raw life force and courage. And a lot of times we've been leaking that out. To embody Kali isn't to become angry, it's to become honest, fiercely so. You are not broken. You are in an initiation. That exhaustion you feel, the constant mental replays, the hypervigilance to every micro expression, every tone shift. This is not just intuition. This is your nervous system, a brilliant, sensitive instrument that plays the same survival soundtrack on a loop. And there is a goddess who actually holds the axe to cut that loop. She is Kali Ma, the dark mother, the great severer. She does not coddle, she liberates. And her liberation brings with a single fierce cut the severing of your ego's attachment to managing the emotional field of everybody else but you. Kali Ma is the cure for codependency. And I know this is something you've probably never heard before because I didn't. But let's talk about the science of mirror neurons. See, you feel what others feel. And for the empath and the highly sensitive person, it's not a metaphor. It's a physiological reality we live in. Your brain mirrors the emotional stress of those around you. It was meant for empathy. But in a state of trauma and survival, it becomes a prison of enmeshment. You leak, you absorb, you scan. This is the survival mode Kali came to destroy. Now, in my personal life, she helped me to sever these ties. See, the mirror neurons, this is a network, and these networks can get entangled with other people's energy. And this entanglement is kind of like a remote control that controls you even when you're not trying to be controlled, you're unaware. So in order to walk in power, the mother gives us signs. And these are not flaws. They are a battle map showing you where to swing your sword, which is your personal power. And I have had several dreams to help me understand this. So this is the oracle's burden. That's knowing what people need before they do. It's a spiritual gift, but it's been poisoned by attachment. Kali asks, are you serving your soul or are you serving your fear and discomfort? Also, the endless ruminations, analyzing every word, every glance. Metaphysically, this is you leaving your body, your present moment, and your past haunts you. It is a massive energy leak. Kali Ma wants you to be here now. Okay? So when you see the corpses depicted with her, this represents the dead versions of you and ego. See, your authentic voice can become completely deleted by these energy fields. Sometimes we fear interactions with people. Our body is constantly telling us we're in danger. But Kali Ma teaches you that you're actually in danger when you don't listen to your body. The somatic imprint is the physical sensations, your heart racing, your chest getting tight, clenching your jaws and your teeth. See, your body is actually your scripture, and your mind negotiates away your power. Now, there is also another sign, which is the addiction to apologies to maintain peace. This is your offering as your dignity on the altar of sacrifice for somebody else's calmness. And the emotional exhaustion, you are drained because you are pouring from your essence into a bottomless cup outside of yourself, aka someone who has their own trauma and may not be ready to face it. And when this is happening, energetically, if you could see what was happening, you'd see how you were being drained. Kali does not teach you to be heartless. She is an ultimate mother. She teaches you to be heartful, to be contained by authenticity, to be sovereign. Your sensitive system is not a curse. It's your radar. Kali's pillars train you to read the radar without being hijacked by the storm. From my Dark Goddess Guide to Ending Energetic Fuckery, I give solutions that I channeled through Kali's fire. I teach the 4 pillars of the void in the coven as well, and you could join with the link in the description. But I'm going to tell you some of that here now. One of the pillars is the stillness anchor. This is staying calm, embodying Kali's energy, being the center of the cosmic storm, perfectly still. Your calmness is not passivity. It's a sword, and it severs the cord of reactive drama to keep you from going into that old loop. Also, the reframe. This is the calmness to not absorb the chaos, but to return anything that does not really belong to you. And the Kali Ma breath. Before you speak, take one breath, and in that breath, hear her. I am not responsible for the storm. I am responsible for being centered, even if the storm shows up. I feel the intensity, but I choose stillness before I choose my words. This is the energy of pillar 1. The second pillar, the deep witness. This is active listening. Envisioning yourself as Kali, listening to the truth beneath the cry. She does not get tangled in the sound or what's being said. So here's a sovereign reframe. Listening is gathering data, not signing a contract. So you witness the reality without making it be an external thing that commands you. You can hear the frustration instead of absorbing it. You ask, channeling her detached energy compassionately, to help me understand the seed of this pain, and then you listen to understand the root and detach from fixing it. Now, a bridge of light between the 2 figures you could visualize as you're doing these things. Pillar number 3 is the bridge of validation. So you acknowledge the feelings. Kali sees all. She destroys what is not useful. She is compassion itself, acknowledging that you can feel something without endorsing somebody else's story as your own. The sovereign reframe is, I can honor your experience, but I don't have to take responsibility over it. Our truths can coexist in a sacred space, separate, but it's respected. Kali's voice is, I see the real you. My reality is also here. Both of us are worthy of acknowledgement. And these things, once you practice them over and over again, can become second nature. And this is the root of everything that I've been teaching. I had no idea that there was a goddess who could actually help me to embody wisdom, her frequency, energy, and vibration to help heal codependency. I had tried everything else, and nothing was working. And I kept going back to that old way of being so afraid of being authentic that I would sacrifice my truth at the altar of somebody else's woundedness. So embodying her wasn't about me being angry. It wasn't about me being destructive. It was about me being willing to accept the fact that my codependency, my hypersensitivity, trying to always please and appease other people, fawning, my nervous system being stuck in survival mode was keeping me stuck. And there are hidden payoffs from codependency. And let's get into them because these I had no idea about. The payoff of significance. If I'm always needed, then I can manage other people's feelings and feel like I have purpose. The payoff of illusionary control. If I overthink every word, I can prevent conflict and I can control their reaction. But you can't. The payoff of moral superiority, being the understanding one that I am, the martyr. I feel things spiritually, but actually it masks the resentment that you feel because you are not being acknowledged. You are abandoning your own self. To detach from other people's expectations, to appease them, to slow yourself down, to dim your light is literally psychic death of authenticity. You might get a temporary coupon of peace in that moment, but it expires pretty quickly. And when you start to pull your energy back, when you stop over-explaining, when you stop agreeing just to keep the vibe, when you stop fearing people being upset with you, people will react. And this isn't a sign that you're doing something wrong. It's a sign that the system is recalibrating. You see, the 3D matrix uses our connections kind of like a video game. It's testing if you will revert to the old code of codependency. And notice what happens when you take one day just to be honest despite the fear. This is true embodiment. Your body has been screaming the truth, but your mind and your ego rationalizes it. And the replaying of conversations, this drains you, but it also keeps you spiritually connected to other people who may or may not be ready to heal, which means now the mirror neurons within you are going to mirror the energy that's within them. And this is when we get lost in not knowing what energy is ours and what energy is not. You see, the ego, its survival is fixed on attachment. What do they think about me? What will happen if I say this and it's true, but I'm afraid to say it? What are they going to do to me after this? And I'm going to be honest, you might lose some connections, but the value that you feel from honoring your own truth will make whatever you leave behind feel more like a sacrifice at the altar that Kali will transmute into a more powerful version of you. See, the peace on the other side of all of this is going to cost you the fear. And this isn't about becoming cold. It's about becoming contained, self-contained. It's about your radiant energy staying inside of your body, powering your life, not being siphoned off to manage adults who should be managing themselves. Kali heals survival mode by teaching you the most radical lesson. Your safety is not found in managing others. Your safety is found in your own unshakable presence, even in the face of a storm. She is the mother who says, I love you too much to let you believe you are small. Now put down their weight and pick up your sword. Your throne is empty, not because you abandon it, but because you have outgrown the old one. It is time to build a new one from the bones of what have been severed. So I'm going to give you some homework for this week. And this is what I share in the coven. When you feel the desire to replay, the tension and the anxiety, pause. Place a hand on your heart and say, Kali Ma, sever the cord of attachment. Let me feel only what is mine to hold. Then breathe with your stomach, with your womb, and watch how you begin to feel freer from the things that you have been carrying. I created an entire toolkit for this. And if you're ready to end this energetic fuckery and build a sovereign nervous system, get my Dark Goddess Guide to Ending Energetic Fuckery. I know the title says a lot. And because true healing is body, spirit, and soul, with this ebook, right in this fucking moment, I'm going to make sure that I personally reach out to you and send you my gentle healing herbal guide. It's based on traditional Chinese principles that are not always easily found, that I learned from working with a fourth generational Chinese medicine practitioner. And this helps you to support your nervous system. And it's not with ashwagandha, if that's what you was thinking. It's things that you don't find easily, okay? And it also gives you things to help with iron depletion, because this is also a symptom of the siphoning of the prison planet on lineages of people who are very powerful. Remember, life force is in the blood. There is sacred technology within the wisdom of the goddesses. This is your map out of the fog. And I will also give you the goddess grimoire so that you can learn the correspondence with them. Learn the signs and symbols when they're communicating with you. See, when you start to cut cords, you build a new life. The mother that you always needed can be found in the dark mother energy. She teaches you courage. She gives you the power to have an honest no or unapologetic yes. The cure is not caring less, it's carrying less. So I'm going to make sure that I put all the links in the description. And I want to say this. One of the reasons that I did all of this today, because this is one of the things that I share in the Coven, what we're doing in the 30-day challenge, which is still going on if you want to join. But I teach to not only embody in the inside, but sometimes it really helps to use color correspondence on the outside, so that every time you see a reflection, it is a reminder to not approach life as the wounded version of you, but as the wise version of you are learning to embody. When you become truly authentic, you don't fear what other people think about you as much. And there was a time in my life where I would be afraid to even wear what I have on now. And that's really, really sad that I allow other people's lack of information, because they don't understand the symbols and the colors that I use, to be the dictation of the way that I dress. So my liberation was actually in their hands, which means I wasn't being considerate to my authentic self. I was betraying my own wisdom. I was betraying what I know. And if they do not understand, or overstand anything that I do, it is not my responsibility to manage that. And it is very much a form of hatred when you allow someone else's perspective of you to determine the way you show up in life. And not only will you eventually not feel love, but you will start to resent yourself. Most resentment with other people is rooted in self-resentment. And so the more that I gained courage to be who I authentically was, the more my life began to be shaped by who I authentically am on the inside. The deeper healing, this is the integration, to bringing it all together, to become whole again, to not be fragmented, to not have to be who people want you to be because they're uncomfortable with your authenticity. It is not your job to explain, seek validation, and to help people understand why you are the way you are, why you believe the way that you believe, why you walk the path that you walk. Because the people who truly love you for you will love you regardless of any of these things, especially an aesthetic. Because at the end of the day, my heart, my energy speaks for itself, and I know who I am, and that's what matters the most. All right, y'all. I'll see you in the next video. And for those of you who have been in the coven and in the chat and you have not been active, sis, what are you doing? Like, we are building over there, loving on each other, supporting each other, and we really need our sisterhood back. A lot of us feel lonely and alone, and sisterhood is really important, and it's been a part of every indigenous culture. So I want to thank you for joining me once again. All the links are in the description. And yes, those freebies that you get, like once you get the ebook, I'm going to personally reach out to you. So make sure that you watch your email. And I actually take the time out of my day to do this because I really care. And I want people to know how important they are. This is not for everybody. Only the chosen ones called to walk a path of authenticity will resonate and actually take action after watching this video. All right, y'all. Peace.
Yeah. Higher, I take you higher. Higher. Yeah. Yeah. I got this sacred, that sacred fire.